All my life I served humanity, but in the end, my only true friends were the pigeons I fed in New York. Maybe that was my fate. The man who brought light to the world, but remained in the shadows himself. I'm Nikola Tesla. This is my story. It began with lightning, at midnight, during a storm. The year 1856. The midwife saw sky and said, "A child of darkness." But my mother smiled through pain and whispered, "No, he's a child of light." Even then, we didn't know which one was right. At school, they saw how fast ideas came into my head. Machines formed whole inside thoughts before being drawn on paper. But there was one problem. My father wanted me to become a priest, a man serving God through faith. Then, at 17, I almost died from cholera. Lying sick in bed for months, doctors walked away saying no hope remained. One night, in silence, I saw real tears fall down Father's face. That moment gave me strength, and I said, "I want to study engineering. And if you let that happen, maybe then I will live." He agreed to save his son's last breath. And slowly, I got better. That sickness, it wasn't an ending. It became a beginning. In my first year of college, I studied hard and took every test seriously. My professors even worried about my health. But soon, I fell into gambling, losing everything. Even my university town seemed unfamiliar when I returned home. A broken student, consumed by shame. Then, tragedy struck again. My father died suddenly. His death snapped me out of the haze I had been living in. I quit gambling forever. That moment marked the true beginning of my life's journey. Back then, the world knew one name only: Thomas Edison. The man who lit homes with bulbs powered by direct current. A hero. And yes, young dreamer Tesla believed deeply in him. So, when offered work installing machines across Europe for the Edison Company Paris branch, my heart soared. While fixing equipment, one idea exploded into mind. An electric motor, powered not by heavy DC batteries, but spinning freely using alternating current, AC. Cleaner power flowing back and forth endlessly, like waves on the sea. I knew I had to show him. I sailed to America with nothing, carrying only a letter of introduction from my manager. It read, "My dear Edison, I know two great men. You are one. The other is this young man." He accepted and hired me in his company. I thought he was a hero. I was about to learn the hard way: never meet your heroes. Inside the workshop, we both knew his systems were failing and wasting energy, burning out wires. So I told him I could make them better. He made me a promise in front of his managers. $50,000 if you succeed. I worked day and night for a year, redesigning his generators from the ground up. And I delivered. Walking into his office, calm, proud, holding the plans, I said gently, "Mr. Edison, I have done what we agreed." But he just laughed in my face. "Oh, the $50,000? You must not understand American humor." Therefore, he never paid me. So I walked out, not just from his workshop, but from his world. It was time to build mine. I found an investor for my AC system, and suddenly, I was at war. They called it the War of the Currents. Edison couldn't beat my technology, so he decided to poison my name. He held public executions of animals, using my AC to burn them alive, all sacrificed to protect his failing empire. He then took it a step further, secretly backing the development of the first electric chair to use my AC system. He wanted the world to see Tesla's current as a synonym for death. But lies never kill truth forever. At the Chicago World Fair in front of the president himself, we turned night into day using only AC. I showed the world the future, and I became the most famous inventor on the planet. I won. The world was finally ready for AC power. My next goal was a dream I'd had since I was a boy: to harness the power of Niagara Falls. We built the first major hydroelectric power plant there, using my AC system. For the first time, the force of the falls was turned into electricity, lighting up cities miles away. We had done it, but I knew we could do more. I had a bigger idea: sending power through the air, without any wires, free for everyone on Earth. No poor left in darkness. To test this, I went to Colorado, built my lab high on a mountain, and there I raised my greatest creation, the Tesla Coil Tower. One night, we tested it, quietly, under silent stars. I pressed the switch. A lightning bolt shot into the sky, 10 times taller than the trees. Artificial thunder roared so loud it shook windows across town. The thunder roared with such force that it knocked out the power for the entire city. The electric storm scared farmers. Fishermen said, no fish remained in nearby lakes after that day. People were terrified. They whispered that I was a devil, fighting with God himself. Then came the miracle. 6 kilometers away, a light bulb glowing without any wire attached. It worked, but the world wasn't ready yet, so I didn't tell everyone about my success. Wireless electricity was real, powerful, and the future was closer than ever. So, I planned to build a tower that would send free energy across the world. I convinced one of the wealthiest men to support this dream. But as expenses grew and profit vanished, his support disappeared. Exactly when he realized that it's free for everyone, the tower stood unfinished, a silent monument to a dream paused by greed and fear. They took everything. They gave my Nobel Prize to Marconi, who used my patents. They destroyed my tower. I was left with nothing. I had always told myself that great inventors have no time for marriage, that love is a luxury the creative mind cannot afford. I built walls around my heart. But there was one. She was different. A pure white pigeon. I loved her as a man loves a woman, and she loved me. One night, she flew to my window. I knew she had come to tell me she was dying. A light came from her eyes. A light more intense than anything I had ever created in my laboratories. When that pigeon died, something in me died too. I knew my life's work was finished. They said I died a failure, penniless, alone. But they were wrong. I am not dead. Every time you turn on a light, every time you change the channel, every time you connect to the modem, I am there. I built the modern world. My only crime was being too early.